So, does the church facilitate illegal migration?
Yes.
The Home Affairs... Well, that's it, we're done. Next item.
I'm sorry, they do.
The Home Affairs is investigating the role of churches in the asylum process after Abdul Azidi, the Clapham chemical attack suspect, remember him, he was granted asylum after claiming to have converted to Christianity, despite having 2 convictions in the UK for sexual assault and indecent exposure.
And last month, the Home Office launched an investigation after not 1, 2 or even 3, 40 men on the Bibby Stockholm asylum seeker barge were being baptised into Christianity. Funny that.
So joining us now is our Home and Security editor, Mark White, to explain how all of this works. Mark, just give us an outline of the rules and how they are at the moment if somebody wishes to stay.
Well, of course, you've got all kinds of things you can argue in your claim, and it's got to be assessed by those who assess asylum claims. But one of the factors that they might be able to take into consideration is if you've converted to Christianity. Of course, under Islam, a strict interpretation of Islam, that's apostasy, which carries, under that strict interpretation of Islam, the death penalty. So, of course, you would think that would be potentially quite a strong argument for you remaining in the country and not being sent back to the country that you say you're fleeing because of potential persecution. So it's been claimed that the system is being gamed by those who are converting to help strengthen their case. And you mentioned, obviously, Azidi there and the chemical attack, the Bibby Stockholm, 40 individuals from that barge who are in the process, it seems, of trying to convert to Christianity. But remember, in 2021 as well, another prominent case of Ahmad al-Swamin, the suicide bomber who tried to blow up the maternity hospital in Liverpool, another case where it really came to prominence, where he had a few years before blowing himself up in that attempt to blow up the maternity hospital. He had converted to Christianity, tried to use that as a means of staying in the country, and that really blew a lid off what was happening there, with more people coming forward and saying that this was happening on more of an industrial scale. Now, what's happening at the moment in the Home Affairs Select Committee is we're getting evidence from a whistleblower, a former parish priest in Darlington. In 2018, he was a parish priest for 2 years. That's Matthew Firth, currently giving evidence and talking about this conveyor belt, really, of asylum seekers that came to his parish to try to convert to Christianity. Now, what he has been telling the committee is that every few weeks or so, about half a dozen, mainly Syrians or Iranians, were brought by another asylum seeker, someone who had been granted leave to remain that didn't convert to Christianity and wasn't interested in doing that, but was bringing around about half a dozen every few weeks or so. He is telling the committee clearly he was very concerned about what was happening here and this pattern. So he implemented a process that he said actually brought a halt mainly to what was happening, in that he was telling those who wanted to convert to Christianity that they had to go through a much more rigorous process. They had to be part of the church life over an extended period. And he said when he did that, then the number of people who were coming to him to try to seek conversion to Christianity just dropped off a cliff. I think over the time that he was a parish priest, over this 2-year period, it seems that he had converted 15 individuals, but over that period many more were brought to him, but he said he got wise effectively to what was happening there, and he has now turned whistleblower and is blowing the lid on what he sees as industrial scale manipulation of the church to help better their chances of getting asylum applications approved.
OK, thank you, Mark. Mark White there.
Kulveer Ranger's with us, Lord Kulveer Ranger, former advisor to Boris Johnson. We must ask you about, is Boris returning, by the way, as a campaigner? But this idea that the church is being gamed, really,
Yes.
conned, and they're falling for it, Kulveer. And yet we've got the Church of England bishops leading the charge against the Rwanda bill. Whether you like the Rwanda bill or not, it's an attempt to stop illegal migration, yet we've got these vicars conspiring hand in hand with asylum seekers who are pretending they're converting to Christianity so they can stay here.
I think, Andrew, the question we need to ask is the numbers. The numbers don't lie. If you suddenly see a spike of people doing something, you have to look closely at that and say, as you say, are people trying to game the system? But there'll probably be some people who are genuine in that number. But when we see people taking advantage, when we can see that it looks like it's not the right thing to do, we have to call this out. And we have to stop this, because it's just people taking, actually, advantage of our good nature.
How do you stop it, though? Because if somebody just looks you in the eye and says, well, I am a Christian, you can't prove that they're not.
I think there is the question here of what's their motivation. You know, you're in an environment and you're looking for a way out. You're looking for an escape clause, and this is something they're seeing as an opportunity. I hate to say that, because everyone's religion is personal to them. Mine is to me. And you don't want to cast out. But here, they're desperate people. Let's be honest, Bev. They're looking for a way out of a predicament they're in, and this is what they're doing.
So we should just change the rules whereby you can't use conversion to Christianity as a means to stay.
I think we have to look at why. We have to probably look at the rules better. We have to understand that these people are desperate. They will do anything to get what they want to get.